Welcome to What is Backend Development. After watching this video, you will be able to define backend development, differentiate between front-end and backend technologies, explain the components of the backend of a web application, and describe the importance of a robust, scalable backend. Client-server applications, such as cloud-based and web applications, generally consist of a front-end and a backend. The front end runs on the client machine, and the back end runs on a server. The client machine runs the web browser and the web browser's engine. The browser's engine is what communicates with the back end. Back-end developers work on the technologies that ensure a website performs correctly, part of which includes writing the code that communicates with the browser's engine and the back-end server. Furthermore, back-end development refers to the development of the server-side logic, including the code that pertains to databases, servers, and applications. Back-end technologies include servers, databases, web APIs, programming languages, frameworks, and runtimes. Servers consist of hardware, software, or both that communicate with and provide functionality to a client. Servers may also communicate with and provide functionality to each other. Now, there are many types of servers. Web applications often use many types of servers, including database servers, application servers, and web servers. Let's briefly discuss each of these types of servers. The database server is the machine and the application that houses, retrieves, and delivers data. The terms database server and database are often used interchangeably. Web servers ensure client requests are responded to, often using Hypertext Transfer Protocol, or HTTP for short. An HTTP server is part of the software running on a web server. The software part of a web server is what controls how a user accesses files hosted on the server. Application servers host and deliver a business application through HTTP. They sit between a database server and a web server. Application servers transform data into dynamic content and run the business logic, which is the data storage and transfer rules. Servers must communicate with each other as well as the front end in a client-server architecture. APIs, which stand for Application Programming Interface, allow two pieces of software to communicate with each other. A web service is a type of web API. A web service communicates using HTTP requests. In other words, the web service is the programming interface that sends and receives requests using HTTP among web servers and the client. Back-end programming languages are the languages that developers use to make the servers function. These languages include JavaScript, PHP, Python, Ruby, Java, and C#. Now, frameworks provide structure for code. An application can be built and deployed using a framework. The framework often generates code that cannot be altered to perform common tasks. Some common back-end frameworks include Django, a Python framework, Ruby on Rails, a Ruby framework, and Express.js, a JavaScript framework. Express.js is a framework running on top of Node.js that handles HTTP requests made to a web server. Let's now discuss runtime environments. A runtime behaves similarly to a mini operating system that provides the resources necessary for an application to run. The runtime is the infrastructure that supports the execution of a codebase. It is the hardware and software environment in which an application gets executed. Node.js is an example of a back-end runtime environment. So, the reason Node.js has become so popular as a back-end technology is because it runs on Google Chrome's open-source V8 engine, the same engine that runs the browser on the front end. Moreover, most modern browsers, such as Microsoft Edge and Opera, also run on the V8 engine. Node.js makes it very easy for the front end to communicate with the back end. Node.js executes JavaScript. Recall from a previous course that JavaScript is widely used on the front end. This makes JavaScript a handy language for web developers to learn because of its use both on the front end and the back end. Another issue back-end developers need to be concerned with is scalability. Scalability is essential for enterprise software success and is the responsibility of the back-end, which is affected by the load on an application. Now, load refers to the number of concurrent users, the number of transactions, and the amount of data transferred back and forth between the clients and servers. Web applications should be scalable. Scalability is the application's ability to dynamically handle the load as it grows or shrinks without it affecting the application's performance. Scalability is essential for the success of a client-server application. Lastly, other back-end responsibilities include security, authentication, and prevention of malware attacks. The back-end is also mainly responsible for performance because it retrieves and transfers data between machines, delivers content to the front end, and supplies the business logic of the application. In this video, you learned that back-end development refers to the development of the server-side logic, including the code that pertains to databases, servers, and applications. Front-end technologies are those that pertain to the client, such as the interface and the web browser. Back-end technologies include various types of servers and supporting infrastructures, such as programming languages, frameworks, and other hardware. And finally, the back-end is responsible for scalability, security, and performance.